Hello, 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 hello. I'm back. I know I've been gone for a long time. And by a long time, I mean 2 weeks. But I've been going through it, y'all. Been going through it. There's been a couple things going on in my personal life. Two major things. Actually, the first one wasn't that major, but yeah, it was major. I shouldn't be that way. It was major. Two major things happened in my life that needed my attention. So I had to be away for the last 2 weekends, but I'm happy to be back. I'm re energized, I'm refocused, I've been very productive recently. So I'm looking forward to getting back into the swing of things. Hey, how's it going? I was out of town both weekends, these past 2 weekends. First one was for a funeral, and then the second one was for a birthday party. So, opposite ends of the spectrum there. One was celebrating the life of a person in their passing, and another was celebrating the life of a person, celebrating the fact that they're still here. So, you know, that's what happened there. I need some lip balm before we get started with this stream. I'm using the Tokobo, Tokobo. I can't pronounce that. This is a new brand to me. First time trying anything from this brand. I love the packaging. I'm not one for spatulas. It just seems a little bit too extra for me. But this is the Vita Glazed Lip Mask. And I've been using this at nighttime. It's fucking incredible. It gives you a very luscious, juicy um, lip. Um, Bitch. Look at that lip. I'm telling you. It's a very nice lip mask. Um, Stays warm throughout the entire night. I love it. Wakes you up with hydrated lips. And listen, y'all know I love the Alex of Skin. Y'all know I love this. This is my daily workhorse when it comes to my lips for reapplying. But I think that putting that lip mask on overnight is kind of a vibe. And it gives you a glisten, a high amount of moisture. They're very kissable lips. It's very kissable lips. It's giving glazed donut on my lips. I love it. It smells pretty good too. Um, hey Mira, hey guys, hey Sus. Um, I need to try their sunscreen. Listen, I'll be quite frank with you. I have no interest in trying other sunscreens. I just, I have lost the complete interest in trying other sunscreens. I am so enthralled with my Kroger sunscreens. I love them. I use them all the time. I look forward to using them. The thought of even risking paying more than $10 on a bottle of sunscreen, it gives me anxiety. So I'm sure it's lovely, but I'm not interested. Like, and I've gotten some gifted sunscreens to me before recently. I think one was the what was it? Fuck. What was the name of it? It's an Asian Korean sunscreen. Great sunscreen. Great sunscreen, but you can't be accessible, affordable, and super elegant, and you love to use it. You can't beat it. Um, It's 9.90. Okay, interesting. Well, I mean, I'm still not gonna buy it, but I will. Let me put it on my. Let me put it on my. I have a list of things that I check out. What is it called? How do you pronounce it? Tokobo or Tokobo? Tokobo or Tokobo? I don't know. Watery sun cream. I'm just at that stage now where, like, why try a new sunscreen when you don't have to try a new sunscreen? You know what I mean? That's just how, I don't know. I'm weird. Tokobo? Tokoba? Oh, they have so many different. They're a sunscreen brand. Like, sunscreen is their thing. Interesting. Oh, the packaging's cute. Okay, anyway, I can look at this brand later. I didn't even. Yeah, anyway. What is the stream? That trans muffin. So, this stream is Cho's office hours. This is all about me connecting with my audience. I do not come in here with an agenda on topics to discuss. Imagine you are talking to your professor in his office hours. You're asking him questions about whatever subjects you're studying at the time. Of course, you and your professor might derail into personal stuff or, pop culture topics. So really, this is just a stream where we talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. So you ask me a question, and I can go on for hours talking about any subject. So yeah, that's what this stream is about. Pretty random, I know. It's a fantastic Korean sunscreen. Thank you, the Wondering Croc. How are you today, Wondering Croc? And why are you wondering? You're a crocodile that's wondering. By the way, guys, I don't have my robe on. Listen, it's been a day. It's been a day. Um, you guys know that I usually have my robe on because it's 11:30 on a Saturday night. What the fuck am I doing? I've been undressed since like 9 o'clock at the latest. 9 o'clock. I've been out of my clothes since 9 o'clock. However, I went to this dance performance because I know I'm acquaintances with some people that were dancing, and it was a beautiful, beautiful dance. Oh my god, just so ethereal, so magnificent, just like impeccable performance, talent, like tens, 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 tens across the board. Anyway, I don't typically go out and do things because that's just not what I do, like at nighttime. But this was in a part of town. This is Ohio State, basically, like the campus, Ohio State. Um, and like there's a lot of shit going on down on High Street. There's always a lot of shit going on that street. There was accidents, there was like ambulances and just like a whole bunch of shit going on. And so it took me a while to get back home from this dance. And then after I got back from the dance, I started talking to Verizon about getting a brand new cell phone. I just ordered my iPhone 15. Mind you, I currently have the iPhone X. My rule is I usually get a new phone every 6 years. So, um, before the iPhone X, I had the iPhone 4. So when I say it's every 6 years, I mean that shit. It's every 6 years that I get a new phone. I'm overdue for a new phone. Um, this phone that I'm using right now to record on, it's just kind of falling apart. The last week, it's really been finicky and sensitive. I've called so many of my friends on Instagram by accident because the sensor is wrong. It's like I'm pressing a button on the bottom right of my phone when I'm not pressing any buttons. It's ruining my fucking life. It's actually ruining my life. So I ordered a new phone finally. It's like the straw that broke the camel's back. So I got the iPhone 15 Pro or whatever the newest. Because listen, when I do get a new phone, I buy the newest, best iPhone I can. Okay, because I'm not gonna buy another piece of iPhone until 6 years from now. So I might as well get the best I can afford, right? So I went ahead and just got the 15 Pro. Um, I didn't get the Max because, like, who wants big ass fucking phones? Not me. I love the iPhone 4. iPhone 4, best generation. Let's talk about it. Those phones that are compact, very cute, very quiet, very adorable. Go back to small phones. Sorry, I love a small phone, so there's no way I'm ever getting a Max anything. Sorry, let me catch up on chat. See, I've already gone on a tangent, on a rant already about my day. So basically, what I'm trying to tell you guys is like I I just got off the phone with off the internet with Verizon. So I didn't have enough time to take my clothes off to put my robe on to get on here and live with you guys. I just came live. So here we are. Anyway, let me catch up on some chat. I've never seen your channel before, and honestly, this is better than most other streams on here. Well, thanks, Trans Muffin. Again, if you have any questions for me, ask them. So, if you're not familiar with my content, I specialize in skincare commentary. However, this is not a space specifically designed for that type of content. In fact, I indulge you to ask me about things like fitness or health and well being or nutrition or finances or personal relationships, interpersonal relationships. Those are all categories that I have a very big interest in, and I've been known to give unsolicited and solicited advice on all of those different realms of topics. I don't mind talking about politics, but my politics usually bothers people. So, and that's your problem, not mine. But if you do want to ask me about politics, I don't mind answering those questions. Just be prepared to be upset. Um, so yeah, whatever you want, ask me whatever you want. Laura says, "Let me out the closet." Are you in my closet? I don't think you're in the closet. I don't think you're in the closet, babe. Let me see if you're in the closet. Laura? Laura? Are you in there? I don't think you're in there. I don't think you're in there, Laura. Um it's 4:38 right now. You're wandering through YouTube. You either need to go to bed or you need to subscribe to my channel, then go to bed. You probably need to go to bed. Or did you just wake up? Because some of y'all crazies wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, which is insane. I can't relate. I wish I could, but I can't relate to that. Mira found their stick sunscreen a bit greasy. Ooh, sorry. I have a 12. I don't upgrade yearly, but I'm leaning toward upgrading more for content reasons. Well, Mira, I would tell you, I have been filming all of my content on YouTube, and you've watched my channel. All of that content has been filmed on my iPhone X. All of it. Now, in terms of photo quality, video quality, audio quality, everything is 10 times better when you upgrade. But you have to also remember too that these upgrades are very incremental. The performance upgrade from generation to generation is never more than 10%. Now, back in the day, yes, sometimes you would see a jump in performance by like 14, 50%, like fucking crazy numbers, because that's when the innovation was high. Okay? Nowadays, going from a 12 to a 13, maybe you're seeing like a 7% upgrade at best. At best. Now, going from where I'm at, from iPhone 10, iPhone X to an iPhone 15 is like leaps and bounds of performance upgrade. So that's what I tend to enjoy waiting for my upgrades because I feel like it's more impactful. That's just the way I feel. But at the 12, you're getting to the point where your phone's pretty old too. Like After 3 years, I feel like after 3 years, that's probably a point where you may want to consider upgrading. Like the performance upgrade is going to be somewhat significant, but that's just my own random speculation. Um, who's Candace? I don't know who Candace is. I've been thinking about writing a visual novel eventually. Any tips? So a visual novel is interesting. I think you have to number one, and this may seem like okay, Cho, you're gonna say some obvious shit, but sometimes you need to hear the obvious. You need to first recognize who your audience is. Who who are your audience members and what do they enjoy and what do they value about certain types of visual novels? I'm not into visual novels at all, okay? I love anime. I never got into manga. The only manga I've ever read was PhD Fantasy Degree, and that shit was funny. That was great. I loved it. That was like 20 years ago. But PhD Fantasy Degree, I loved it. I've never been a comic person. I've never been a manga person, and so it's hard for me to give you advice on the um I guess the aesthetic parts of starting that journey. I can give you logistical advice on like just how to run a business and how to start a creator brand, you know what I mean? Like having a clear vision is going to be very important. What do you want to get from this visual novel? What are your goals with starting this project? I think outlining those things very specifically will help you to have a clear mind and have a clear list of objectives with how you're going to achieve that. So, I don't know. Do you want this visual novel to be something that's only online, for example? If that's the case, do you really need to go through the whole publishing um, trajectory, or do you want this visual novel to be something that is like um, at Barnes and Noble? Do you know what I mean? Or do you want it to be something that's only at like more like independent shops? So there's lots of different ways you can go about it logistically, but I think you have to figure out what your goals are first. Once you evaluate your goals for this project, I think then you'll be able to decipher how to go about it. Hopefully, that answers it a little bit. Hopefully. Now you can get the new road case. Oh my god, inside joke. Yeah, Miro. I can join the crowd now. Now that I have my new phone, I'm gonna stick my shit right on the back of my phone. Uh, You know what? Alex the Skin should get on that. Or maybe we can have Tacobo somehow stick this jar on the back of the phone. That would be hilarious. I'd be all for it though. All for it. That trans muffin says, I don't really care for politics as long as you're not racist, homophobic, sexist, it's chill. Well, listen, interesting that you bring those three things up because, listen, I honestly believe that in our current political climate, we use those terms um, to almost silence people's speech and arguments. I'll tell you, as a black guy, listen, so you can see what color I am. Okay. I have been called racist before against black people, against black folk. Call me crazy. I've been called racist. And it's because I have been into political discussions um, where where I don't agree with the common narrative that I guess other black people might have. And I guess when you don't fall in line with those narratives, it's easier to be smeared. Um, Smeared? Why am I saying smeared? Smeared. Smeared sounds more like, it sounds sexier. Does it not sound sexier? Smeared? Smear versus smeared. Anyway, it's easier to be smeared when you use like very emotionally charged language like that, and it kind of like deflects away from the argument at hand. It's a really, really effective way of silencing free speech. I don't think I'm racist, homophobic, or sexist, but I have been called two of those words. So who knows? Chow Min says, I woke up at night, sleep in evening. Okay, fair enough. Bros are bad. I don't know where my comment went, but in case I didn't send, I did content forever on the X and have had my 12 forever, but I do think there's a difference with the newer models for pics and video. Well, I think you're probably going to be right. I listened to a couple reviews, and um, the reviews look good for the iPhone 15. Like the reviews are really good for the photos. The review I watched was very well done. Can I link it? I'm gonna link it. I'm gonna link it in the chat because it was really good. And if you guys are thinking about it yourselves, I think this. Oh, that's a ugly link. My fucking god, it's a ugly ass link. You can watch the video that I watched, and I thought it was a very fair and balanced review. I'll give you the too long didn't read version. Essentially, he said that on its front, you know, first impressions, it didn't seem to move the needle very much in terms of an upgrade. But as he continued to use the product over an extended period of time, he found that there were so many hidden things that wasn't promoted, that wasn't really marketed towards the public. So many nooks and crannies that made the product so much more high value than he initially thought. He says that basically everything is better than it was before. The battery's a little bit better, the camera's a little bit better, like everything's just a little bit better. However, there are some unique features that weren't marketed that makes the phone very great to use, a pleasure to use. So I implore you guys, if you're thinking about an iPhone, go watch that review because that was really the last straw that brought the camel's back. Like I've told you guys before earlier, my phone's been acting like shit. My phone's been acting like vitamin C. Okay, chaotic, a mess, a radical, can't be contained, out of control. My phone's been fucking out of control for like a week. And so I've already been thinking it's on my head, okay, Cho, you gotta get a new phone. You've been putting it off for a long time. But do I want to pay $1,000 for a phone? No, I fucking do not. Do I have $1,000 fucking dollars? No, I do not. So of course I didn't want to pay for a new phone. But then I read that review, and then I was like trying to do something on my phone earlier at the dance that I was at. I was like trying to put in like a task for my task management app. I was trying to put a task in, and it just like my phone was fucking up, and it really just like infuriated me because it was embarrassing. I was in front of someone, like a colleague, and I'm trying to say, oh yeah, I'll connect you with this person. I'll email you, da da da, and I just couldn't get it to work, and it was just like embarrassing. So anyway, I'll have a new phone in 5 days. Um, you can DIY one for your favorite alloys of skin. Could you imagine me putting tape on my phone? I might do that actually. That would be funny. Hey Fatina Robinson, how are you today? Welcome to my stream. My name is Cho, and I hope that you get familiar here. Ask me any questions that you want, any topics. I don't really shy away from any particular topics. Health, wellness, nutrition, finances, skincare. I love skincare. I think okay, my skin is doing some shit here because I have not done my skincare routine in like 5 days. No cap. I sound like a Gen Xer. I just said no cap. 5 days. So I have like bumps. It's a long story. I have shit going off my face. But it's still the good thing about doing your skin care for like a long period of time is even when you take a break, your skin is more resilient because you've already put the work in. And so it's easier to bounce back. So my skin's already bounced back for me applying skincare products again. I love that about my skin. So like I can have a breakout or not do my skincare for a while, and if shit gets crazy, if shit gets hairy, it's not too bad for too long. Do you know what I mean? So It's fine. Um, Jam Master J, put the needle down and magical things happen. I have no idea what you're talking about. That trans muffin says, when I use those words, I meant at least the baseline of don't treat people bad on what they are and not the person. Like, don't judge a book by its cover. Absolutely, trans muffin. Absolutely. And I don't do that. Um, and I think that's a big problem that people are having these days. There's a lot of what some would refer to as neo racism, because people are being judged by their skin color, and people are being judged by the way they look and by their backgrounds, by immutable characteristics, um, and they're making judgments about them because of that. And yeah, it's happening a lot these days. It's happened a lot all the days, not just these days. Anyway, I look at specs, but also I like to look for pics and videos. That's the selling point for me, being able to see significant improvement. Watch the video I linked in the chat mirror because he goes into detail how the 15 and the 14 compare to each other in terms of its photography capabilities. There's a lot of this or that, screenshots of the performance of both models. And I'm assuming that, the 12 is going to be less capable as the 14. So hopefully that's a decent enough comparison for you. But he does do some really decent comparisons in terms of photo. I don't remember really, to be honest with you, if he did a lot of video. So I was like glancing. I'm multitasking. I'm a multitasker. So I'm like looking at the video, doing something else. Looking at the video, doing something else. So I don't know. Um, yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, but I'm just saying in the video that I linked, he compared when he talked about the camera, he talked about the 14 versus 15 and how even the between because and the assumption is people are concerned about upgrading from the 14 to 15 because they feel like there's not that much of a difference, that there's not much of a performance upgrade. But he showed in his video that there is a significant performance upgrade when it comes to the photo capabilities. So I can't attest to any video capabilities or comparisons, but in terms of the photos, he was able to illustrate pretty effectively that the 15 is at least better than the 14. And, you know, assuming it's better than the 12, 13, 11, 10, etc., etc. Who knows? Um, I'll definitely be letting everyone know how I love my iPhone 15 when I get mine. So you can look forward to that. Um, hey, Casino. Bobby Casino. You got to bet on Bobby, y'all. Bet on Bobby. My hottie Bobby. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well. Tell me how your weekend's been so far, Bobby. Trans Muffin says, I like how simple the stream is, especially if there are less people, so it's chill and feels more like an actual conversation. Of course, listen, I have all of 3 followers. All you bitches are here. Okay, I have 3 followers. Y'all are all here. So it's a small community. I love to engage, and I'll tell you, Trans Muffin, I engage a lot in the DMs with a lot of my followers. So if you ever want to follow me on Instagram, let me go. I'll link my dash. Let me link my everything link. Because you can follow me on any social media platform that I'm on and engage with me. I mean, to be honest, I just love running my fucking mouth. I love running my mouth. So I love talking. I love meeting people. I love engaging. I love learning about other people, learning about other perspectives, and that's a valuable hobby of mine. So even if it's something very mundane, my life is very mundane. In real life, my life is the most mundane thing ever. Okay. In fact, most people, I have people, people look forward to my Instagram stories on the weekends because the weekend, and by weekend I mean like my Monday, Tuesday, but like I go to Sam's Club on Mondays and Tuesdays. But sometimes I go up to the grocery stores on the weekends, and my grocery store runs. I love grocery shopping. I love grocery shopping. And so I don't know, when you love something and you obsess over something sometimes, it can feel more dramatic than what it is. And people love watching my stories about grocery shopping because I'm just really dramatic. Like I swear to God. And I'm okay, I'm not being dramatic. This actually happened. I was at Sam's Club. When was it? It was last week sometime. It was last Monday or last Tuesday. I don't know. Anyway, I was at Sam's Club and I got their $5 rotisserie chicken. My first time. Now, the weekend before, I was just taking snapshots of the girls in line, like vultures, all huddled around the rotisserie chicken counter. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I get up close, and they're all huddled around, and then the guy starts, bringing out chicken, and all the Karens, all the girls, all the shoppers started like pouncing on this chicken. I'm thinking, well, this is so uncouth. This is so disgusting. How could they? Why would they? Why did they? Like, I would never behave like this in public. And then I get up to the front and I see that the rotisserie chicken's only $5. So I'm like, so I'm like, I get it. So the following week, I am one of those people in the fucking line to get a rotisserie chicken because it's five fucking in Biden's economy. Absolutely, I'm in line for a rotisserie chicken at Sam's Club. I was just like, I had to eat my own, I had to eat crow because I was just making fun of these people for like being crazy for this chicken, but they give you a whole fucking rotisserie chicken for $5. Do you know how much you can do with a rotisserie chicken? You can make chicken salad. You can make chicken sandwiches. You can make chicken soup. You can put you can put the chicken breast, the chicken scraps on top of fresh salads, like green salads. There's so much you can do with this rotisserie chicken. When you make the soup, you make the broth, you've got chicken broth. Now you've got chicken broth that's like high protein, has collagen, all that good shit. Oh my God, it's just so so yeah. I was in line at the Sam's Club and it was a little dramatic because I got in line. Okay, I got in line. There was like four women in front of me. And one lady was on the phone, she's talking loud. And then I'm like listening to my podcast, listening to my audiobooks like I always do, minding my own fucking business, like don't talk to me, whatever. I'm not here. All of a sudden I hear her complaining to the lady in front of her saying, well, people are so disrespectful. No one has any respect for the line anymore at Sam's Club. They move their carts and they try to hold their place and they go shopping elsewhere. And then they think they can come back and just get their cart and jump in line in front of other people. I was just like, oh my God, like this is a serious matter. Like, am I going to have to fight the bitches for some rotisserie chicken? Like, am I going to get shanked? Like, what is going to happen? So then finally the guy who's cooking the chicken, he's fucking tired of us. Okay, he's tired of us bitches. Okay, he's had it. He's not getting paid enough. Sam's Club people, pay your rotisserie chicken cookers more money because this guy had it. Okay, so he starts to pass out the chickens and he's going as fast as he can. He has, four chickens in his hand and he's trying to put them down, put them down, put them down. So then us vultures, we descend upon the chicken. Okay, we're on top of it, and it got a little hairy because people are being. You've got some people that are more reticent, more shy, and you've got some people that are very aggressive about getting in line. And like, I'm trying to respect the fact that there was other women there in front of me, so I'm trying to let them go before me. Okay, and then there's this lady behind me who's like waiting for me to go. It was just like, I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I'm like the tangent. Sorry. Anyway, long story short, people look forward to my Instagram stories, Trans Muffin. So go follow me on Instagram if you want to have some fun. Um, I try to wait for an upgrade that's worthwhile. Yes. Oh, you're probably gone by now, Mira, because I've been ranting for like 10 minutes. But thank you for stopping by, Mira. I really, really appreciate you. Give Parker a hug for me and a hello for me. And you guys have a great night. Bobby says weekends have been good. I had the weekend off, so I've been enjoying it. My best friend's birthday's tomorrow. Oh, nice. What are you going to get your best friend, if anything? What are you planning to get? Hey, Chow, how are you? What town am I in? I'm in Columbus, Ohio. I live in Columbus, Ohio, the great state of Ohio. We love Ohio in this house. How do I feel if someone break in my house? Well, first off, I would feel sorry for the person that broke into my house because I'd probably kill them. Um, yeah. I mean, if they can get through my two. So, first off, if they could get through my two pit bulls. So, actually, my pit bulls would probably kill the intruder before I did, before I got to them. Okay? So, but if they didn't finish him off, I'd finish him off. Um, because I don't play about me and mine. I don't. And Ohio, the great state of Ohio, is a stand your ground state, which means that if you are under attack or if you feel that your life is in danger, you don't have a duty to retreat. You are able to use lawful deadly force against someone in the great state of Ohio. So we love that. So try me if you want to, but you better not miss. If you come for me, you better not miss. Um, okay. Um, and it's some good tasting chicken. Hello, get into it. Listen, Bobby Casino, you're not brand new to the game. You know what it is. What are my thoughts on the Stanley Cups and how people are going crazy about it? They're okay cups, but people are fighting others in stores for them. Okay, so Trans Muffin, you are new to the gig here. You're new to the stream here, to the community. Welcome. We love you. I have talked at length. I have talked at length about Stanley Cups. I recommend that you go back into. I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm going to give you my opinion. Don't worry. But I do recommend that you go back into previous live streams. Most of my 95% of my live streams are time stamped. So you can go click on a video, a past live stream, and it will tell you the topics that were covered in that video. So I rant about Stanley Cups in at least two different videos. And in one of those videos, I was harassed by teenagers because they love Stanley Cups. I mean, they're stands of the Stanley Cup. A whole situation. So definitely go back and watch some of those streams to get some insights into some random topics that may fancy you. I've talked about Ozempic at length, talked about Stanley Cups at length, um, talked about a lot of shit. Anyway, go back and watch. Now, my opinion on Stanley Cups: they're overrated, they're overpriced, and they're not even competitive in terms of performance compared to their competitors. Like, I stand Iron Flask. Iron Flask is a cheaper product than Stanley Cups, and they perform way better. What do I mean by that? They're cold for just as long, but they also stay hot for vastly longer amounts of time. I believe that the Iron Flask keeps hot drinks hot for 6 hours. I want to say 6 hours. I think it's half a day. Six to eight, not half a day, not 12 hours. It's 6 to 8 hours keeping things hot. Um, Stanley Cups, by comparison, they only keep drinks hot for 2 hours. What the fuck? I also hate that Stanley Cups market themselves as staying cold for like multiple days. If you're walk with me here, walk with me. If you have water in your water bottle for multiple days staying cold, what that tells me is that you're literally not drinking the water. If you're not drinking the water, what the fuck does it matter whether it's cold or not? Right? So they're marketing about how, yeah, it's like 70 something fucking hours of cold water. Bitch, what water? Your stale ass water is in there for 3 days? What? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? For what? So it's ridiculous. Um, I'm over the Stanley Cups. They're ugly. They're not even cute. All the accessories that come with them, overdone, overpriced. Anyway, too much. Um, um, I was out of town last time. I was in Toledo. Both weekends I was in Toledo, Ohio. Do I remember how to say hello in Vietnamese? No, I do not. Reteach me, please. You'll just be attending dinner at Texas Roadhouse. Ooh, does Texas Roadhouse have the sweet potatoes? Remind me which one Texas Roadhouse is. Um, how do like do they have? Is that because there's one like restaurant that has a really good baked sweet potato, and I don't know what they do, but I love it. Did I teach them to attack? I'll just say this. I feel very comfortable in my house. If there were an intruder, I would feel very comfortable dealing with it before the police got here. Um, I'll just say that. Um, because you know the girls try to cancel you for the shit you say. So I'll just say that. I'll think before I speak for once. I would feel very comfortable defending myself and my family and my house if an intruder came before the police got here. I would love the police to get here too, but it'd probably be all settled and done by that point. I know this comment might not make sense when you get to it, but you totally could have made a Stanley Cup. I mean, literally, Stan stands. It's fucking crazy. To be honest, it's crazy. Um, so that's how I feel about Stanley Cups. But again, I implore you to go to my previous live streams, check out. Um, maybe I'll even link one, just because why not? I'll link one of the streams for you. And if you're into skincare, definitely check out my main channel's videos because there's a lot of videos that really have not really ever caught check those out. Um, oh, um, yeah, these are okay. So here are some of the titles. Trans Muffin. Here's some of the titles. Um, Why I'm God's Favorite. Cultural appropriation isn't real. Sephora Kids. So that stream was the stream that was real lit because it was crazy. Another one. Stanley Cups are trash. Transparent. Explaining the mouse trapping industry. Another one. Cassandra Bankston's Me Too lawsuit. Is Lab Muffin Beauty bitter? How I spent my birthday. Another one, do I need Ozempic? I'm so dramatic. I don't need Ozempic. A miracle during COVID. The best protein powders. Getting earwax removal. Oh, I remember that. I got my earwax removed from my ears. It feels incredible to do that. If you've never got your ears cleaned professionally, do that. It's quite the treat. To be honest, it's quite the treat. They just suck everything out. It's great. It feels like they're sucking your brains out, and it feels so good. Um, Another stream: how to deal with toxic friends. Everything is your fault. Um, why crime rates are high. The best lip balm. 3 winter products to buy. Learn English with me. International destinations. Vitamin C is overrated. It is. Vitamin C is definitely overrated. I've never lied to y'all. It is. Why I don't like water. Tackling hyperpigmentation. Tarot lessons. Currently in my taco era. Doing my nighttime skincare routine. A dermatologist shouldn't be influencers. Change my mind. iPhones are a scam. I talked about that. They are a scam. I just got scammed tonight. Twitch and Amazon layoffs. Interesting. Anyway, those are just some random titles. Canceling is strange to me because it will happen to anybody, and no matter if you're good or bad, if you stay silent for a month, people will forget about it. It's so okay. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how fucking ridiculous cancellations are. Number one, you're right. People have the memory of a goldfish. People have the memory of a goldfish. I feel as though people can do the most heinous things ever and then end up being forgiven very quickly. And it's just really, really unfortunate to see that there's never really any real accountability when it comes to people getting canceled. So I don't know. It's very strange to me too. Very strange. You think it's mostly Twitter? No, I think it's a pretty universal thing in our culture. It's a cultural issue um, that was born out of wokeism. Um, think about the Me Too movement. The Me Too movement really catapulted this idea of canceling people, um, for better or worse. Um, I know exactly who Sniper Wolf is. I don't know the Sniper Wolf situation because I don't keep up with her or her shit show of a life anymore. She has a controversy. She has a major controversy one time a year, minimum. At least every year there's a controversy with her. But I have known about Sniper Wolf for the last 10 years. So she's not like new to me. Um, I think didn't she dox someone? Didn't she dox someone and something happened to that person? I'm I feel like I've heard a little bit about it. Perhaps. But I think she like doxed someone or like put someone on blast. And then something happened to that person. I'm not sure. From what little I do remember about Sniper Wolf, she's a piece of shit. She's a terrible gamer. She's not a competitive gamer. I remember like when I was a Twitch streamer and she got called out because She was faking her gameplay. I mean, there was receipts for it. She wasn't even playing the game. Someone else was playing the game for her. Just fucking crazy. Um, so no, I don't know much about Sniper Wolf these days. I've kind of moved on. Mm, thank you. By the way, before you go, how do you like the lips? Listen, go get you some Tocobo Vita Glaze lip mask. This is what the girls need on the lips at nighttime. I know what's the other brand, Laneige. The Laneige lip mask, I know it has a cult following, but this is the it girl. The Laneige sleeping lip mask wants what this lip mask has. She wants what this one has. It's great. That's a great lip mask for the nighttime. And of course, I love my Alice's Skin lip balm for reapplying during the daytime. Have a good night and have a fun time at your good Judy's birthday party tomorrow. Say happy birthday from me as well. Um, anyway, I'm tired. I'm actually tired because there's been a lot of shit going on today, more than usual. More than usual. Have a good night. Have a good night. What other questions do you have for me, Transmuffin? I'm so happy to have you here tonight. Really, really happy to have you. I always look forward to having new people to engage with. I it took the last 2 weekends off, so it's very quiet tonight, which I'm okay with because I'm tired. But I'm really happy to have you here. I appreciate you. I feel like I know a lot about politics, even though I don't really like it because it only gives me stress. Maybe it's because I watch a lot of commentary channels. Well, that's I think it's a great thing to expand your knowledge when it comes to politics. I don't think it's something that people should obsess over or overly stress over. At the end of the day, I need people to realize one thing. You cannot depend on the government to make your life better. I think once people accept that fact, which it's difficult to accept that fact, it's so difficult because there's so many constraints on that narrative and that position. They steal our money via taxation, and so we feel like they should be compelled to make our lives better, and that is a legitimate feeling to have. However, the fact is that they tend to do more harm than good. And so depending on the government is just something you shouldn't do. At the end of the day, when you lay your head down at night on your pillow, you should be thinking about how can I better my life through my own actions, through my own endeavors, through my own goal setting, through my own volition. Because um, the only house that's going to get things cracking for your life, it's not the White House, it's your household. Okay? I and I think people put too much stock into these politicians and into the politics. Okay? Yes, politics will affect your life. Yes, it will. But only you can control how you react to it and how you rebound and how you rebuild and how you strive to become greater and better at the things that you do or the things that you want. And it hurts me to see so many people fall for the scams by people like Trump and Biden, like this disgusting people, like they're disgusting people through and through, and people really attach their hopes and dreams into human beings like this, like political people, like it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, and I hate when people get stressed. Don't stress out over it. To me, I laugh about the shit. It's annoying. I get annoyed about some things, but at the end of the day, I support myself and I have a lot of control over my own life. And I recognize that. And I accept the fact that I am responsible for 95% of the things that happen to me in my life. 95% of the things that happen to me, I am responsible for. And when you truly believe in that, you can do anything. So that's my rant about that. Um, I know it's good to know politics, but it's gotten bigger recently. I try to always have an open mind to things, but sometimes politics feels like you're either one side or the other. Well, it can only feel like that if you allow others to force you into that position. I'll tell you right now, over on Twitter, everybody hates me because I drag everybody. I drag everybody. And while it would be nice if life was simple and black and white, it's not. It's complex, it's messy, it's gray, and it's nuanced. And when it comes to, political parties and political positions, each of those things are nuanced. Each of those things are complex. And there's never, ever been a one size fits all for a policy or a politician. So, with those things in mind, you have to accept the fact that it's not really a this or that or a them versus me or a them versus us. It's usually something more in between, something more nuanced. So, you know, don't feel that way, and don't ever fall into the trap of thinking like a tribal person where you have to align yourself with positions that you don't really believe in because they're on your side. That's bullshit. That's actually how the two major political parties have consolidated so much power. It's because people have been forced into this you're either on this side or that side mentality. Don't do that. Um, Let me take these socks off at least, because I'm tired. Oh my god. I can't even take my fucking shoes off. Um, how'd you find my channel, Trans Muffin? Let's talk about that. How'd you find my channel? And also, how old are you? Hell, I've got to start having bitches sign waivers or something because the teeny boppers were in my channel deep a couple weeks ago. Okay, and this channel is not for children. It's not. Oh my god. Okay, sorry. I'm like, sorry guys. I'm so uncomfortable because I still have my fucking clothes on. And like I said before, I'm usually out of my clothes by 9 o'clock p.m. At the latest, I'm out of my clothes by 9 o'clock. Usually it's 8 o'clock, 8:30. My clothes are all off. Okay? My robe is right there. I cannot wait to put my fucking robe on. But no, like I was trying to say, this dream is not for children. I have a potty mouth. I try to control it when I know that there's kids here, but I can't help myself. Um, and sometimes you talk about adult things. Um, so I just like to know, like, if I should try to filter my. Oh my god, sorry, pardon me. I just want to know if I should try filtering myself for teenagers. Do you know what I mean? Like, of course, it's not my job to like, monitor everyone's age in the chat. But I also want to be sensitive to the fact that like I say some very adult natured things, and I don't want to impact children or teenagers um, negatively. I don't listen. I sleep well every night of my life, and I don't ever want to feel a guilty conscience or feel bad about my behavior when it comes to affecting children. Like I would never want to do that. Um, you're scrolling through lives. Awesome. You're scrolling through lives. Okay. Well, yeah. So this is a weekly stream, um, and you're 16, and I know I'm technically a child, but I've seen and been through enough. Well, and that's unfortunate, mind you. That's an unfortunate reality. Being 16 and having been through things, it's not a good thing. I feel like a lot of our children these days have had their innocence stripped from them through no volition of their own, and that's really sad and unfortunate. Kids are having to grow up a lot quicker, and part of that is because of the rise of social media. Your age group, it's constantly bombarded with social media, and I think it has more negative consequences than not. And it needs to be reeled in. I think if it needs to be reeled in by parents and by individuals themselves. Like it's too much. It's too much. Um, but welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy you're here, Trans Muffin, and I hope that you're having a good time. And I hope that you look at some other content of mine. I hope that you engage with me over on Instagram. I hope that you make yourself welcome and make yourself at home. This is a weekly stream that I have every Saturday. I do just like a random stream where I just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Um, I'm gonna give a major spoiler. Major spoiler. No, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm gonna save that for my Patreon community. I'm gonna save that for my Patreon community. Um, in fact, I'm gonna film that video tonight because they deserve it. Anyway, um, stay tuned for the channel. There will be some changes to my YouTube channel. I'll do that. I'll tease that. There's gonna be some changes to the YouTube channel. But what will not change is I will always be live here. I'll always be scheduled to be live here Saturday nights, 11:30 p.m. Eastern. Um, and this is just an opportunity to kind of check in with you guys and see what's going on and how are you and what do you want to know about and what do you want to talk about. You know, I just love talking shit. So I love hanging out and chatting, and I'm chill, um, chill but dramatic. If that's an oxymoron, whatever, that's me. Um, and I do care about increasing the value in your life. I want this to be a valuable experience for anyone being here, whether you're here for a bit of light-hearted entertainment or you're here for actual advice. We talk about some serious stuff here. I spent one entire stream talking about estate planning and last testament of wills for people that die. I talked about, I've been through a lot of stuff, situations where I've been forced to deal with those situations in very dramatic fashion. So I want this to be an opportunity to help people. You know, someone on my stream last 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, she was asking me about, what should I, no, I'm getting, I'm getting it mixed up what we talked about publicly and what we talked about privately. So I'm not going to try to guess. But we talked about finances. I know that for a fact. Finances and her career, okay, and her marriage. Well, not marriage, her relationship. We talked about some deep shit, okay? And so regardless of why you're here, I want your time to be spent here. I want you to feel like your time spent is valuable because I know that you guys could be a million other places. You could be doing a million other things But the fact that you've chosen to spend your time with me, I do not take it for granted, and I appreciate people who spend their time with me. I think that it's an honor. It's an honor because who the fuck am I? You know what I mean? I feel parents should be taught about how to protect their kids from it, especially because I've seen some parents give their kids easy access to the internet. I agree. Um, I think it should be heavily monitored by parents. Heavily monitored. Um, I think access is one thing. Teaching kids about what that access means and what they can be exposed to is another thing. And then actively, um, actively watching what your children are doing on the internet. That's also very important. Who are their idols? Who are they following? Who's in their browser history? Like those things are important. And it's not about invading someone's privacy for the sake of invading their privacy. Listen, if your kid is like watching porn on the internet, that's one thing. Okay. But if he's watching like doggy porn, that's an entirely another fucking thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between like a child experiencing something stereotypically negative on the internet versus experiencing something that is concerning. Do you know what I mean? Like having a bad interaction or a negative experience that could potentially be a learning experience is one thing. But having an experience on the internet that is actually damaging to that child or concerning to that child is a completely separate category. And I think that parents have to be able to parse the difference and, use their discernment to determine when to step in. You know, yes, did my son just look up, a nice pair of boobs? Okay, fine. Let him have it. Let him have it. Okay, he's 15. The hormones are raging. A pair of boobs never hurt nobody. Okay, but if he's watching, like porn where women are being choked out and put in cages, you know what I mean? That might be something that you may need to have a conversation about. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of, you have to use discernment, and every parent's different. Everyone has their own different limitations and what they think is concerning for their child. But I think there has to be a distinction somewhere, and there, regardless of the distinction, there has to be overwatch. There has to be surveillance of what your children are doing on the internet. I strongly believe in that. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. I found a lot of things by accident when I was young that no child should see. Well, it happens. That happens. It happens. It happens. And I know some parents who don't give their children any access to social media at all whatsoever. She has a situation where her kids do snail mail with their friends. That's how they communicate. They can text. They have phones. They can text. But there's no Facebook. There's no Twitter. There's no Instagram. There's none of that shit. Like, and they look forward to writing. And I love that about my friend, that she's teaching her kids the value of writing handwritten letters. Like, I love a handwritten letter. I write letters all the time to my friends. Oldest oldest hobby in history of the world, and I love it. And there's nothing better than receiving a handwritten letter from a good friend or a loved one. It's different from a text. A text or a phone call could never compare to a letter. Could never. Could never. Just could never. Um. Anyway. Um. Yeah. It's unfortunate that has happened. It's unfortunate that's happened. Exposure is. Kids are exposed to a lot of shit these days. It's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. What else is going on? We're only gonna be live for another, let's say, we've been here for an hour now. Um, We'll do 15 more minutes. We'll do 15 more minutes. It's whatever you want. I mean, literally, I, I have no, like, I don't come into these streams with topics in mind. I can talk for hours about a bunch of nothing. I really, really, really can. And because I know I can do that, I go off into tangents so often. I try my hardest to say, okay, Cho, you cannot be here for hours. If no one's engaging, that means that you're not needed right now, and you know what I mean. Um, oh my God, welcome back. I missed you too. But no, I was saying like if no one is engaging, what that signals to me is that there's no need for me at this moment. And so instead of me blathering on about a bunch of like shit, like my time at the grocery store or what happened at the post office earlier today, instead of talking about all that drivel, I can go off and be productive and do other shit for my viewers. Like I need to make a really important Patreon video about the status of my content. Um, I've got shit to do. How have you been? I feel like I have not spoken to you in a long time. Give me a very quick update on your life and what's happening. Um, I miss being here. I hate missing live streams because these are so much fun for me. People forget that before I got into YouTube, I started off on Twitch. Like I was a Twitch streamer. I streamed video games. I was top 100 in Guild Wars 2, PvP. Not that that's like a really competitive scene or anything like that, but very, very small competitive scene. And I was like a very good player in that game. I was top 100 like for multiple years. But anyway, start off with that. Play Smash, Apex Legends, Valorant, um, DBD, Dead by Daylight, all those games. Like, love those games. So live formats are kind of like where I really thrive. That's where I feel the most comfortable. If you watch my YouTube videos, those are heavily scripted, of course, and they're scripted for a reason because I'm talking about a lot of precarious situations that could get me in trouble potentially. So I have to be really careful and do the research and make sure that I'm reporting things accurately and professionally and not without malice. There's just a lot more that goes into preparing a video that is supposed to be educational and informative in nature. Whereas a live stream is just like you're off the cuff. You're just talking shit. You know what I mean? So I'm comfortable here. I always feel weird talking about it, but trans topics, I feel it's such a hard thing to talk about with people, especially because I am. Well, what makes it hard? Well, okay. I mean, that's a dumb question. Obviously, what makes it hard is because it's a very emotionally charged topic. Very emotionally charged topic. People seem to have a very visceral response to trans issues. Um, I'll be very transparent with you. I am a very, if I, okay, I don't believe in putting yourself in boxes because, politically speaking, because your box will inevitably change through time. Um, always, your political leanings are always evolving in time because theoretically you are evolving as well. However, if I had to guess what other people would perceive me as or the box they would put me in, they would categorize me as a conservative libertarian. Um, so I know people that are very conservative take massive issue with the trans issue, which is unfortunate because, in my opinion, freedom is like one of the highest goods in life. Freedom is everything. Um, and when it comes to adults, and I'm specifically saying adults, I believe adults should have ultimate freedom over their bodies and their choices as long as they don't harm other people. Um, I'm a strong believer in bodily autonomy. You know, some might call that anti-vax, but I believe that people really do have control. They should have control over their own bodies, whether they want to get a vaccine or not, whether they want to have a pregnancy or not. I'm pretty radical. I think people should have fucking control over their bodies. Where it becomes, it may we may differ on this position, and that's okay, because I'm all about having conversations. I think my position with bodily autonomy differs a bit when it comes to children, when people are that are underage, um, because children. This may sound, especially from a libertarian, a self-proclaimed conservative libertarian, this may sound a little grotesque, but children don't really have that many rights because they're not adults. You're under the supervision of your parents. And so, really, a lot of your rights derive from your parents taking care of you. Um, and I think that when it comes to trans children, I think we've been going down a very precarious, dangerous situation when it comes to children because some of the things that they have done to children have led to irreversible damages. And this is, obviously a choice that parents are making. But in some cases, parents haven't had the ability to make choices for their children. And I just hope that people are not being taken advantage of. I'm also someone that is very skeptical of the pharmaceutical industry. The pharmaceutical industry, in order for their industry to thrive, there must be sick people. There must be people taking medications. There must be people that are on drugs. There must be people going to have surgeries. Like, in order for the pharmaceutical industry to thrive, that is a fact. That's not an opinion, it's a fact. And so, when you keep that in mind, we live in a capitalistic society, whether you agree with it or not. We live in a we live in a crony capitalist society, okay? And whether you agree with it or not, businesses are designed to make money and to make profit, okay? And sometimes, oftentimes actually, these these corporations exploit people time and time fucking again. These major corporations, they don't care about you. They just want your fucking money. And a lot of times, I feel, call me a conspiracy theorist, I don't give a fuck. I feel like these pharmaceutical companies, they want you to be fucking sick. They want you to be sick because if you are healthy and you don't need their drugs anymore, they go out of fucking business. They go out of business. So they're not in the business of curing disease. They're in the business of managing disease. There's a difference. They're in the business of managing disease, not curing disease. And so let me circle it back and bring it all together. When it comes to trans children, when it comes to the hormones, when it comes to the surgery, it is my belief that a lot of these initiatives are being done not to help children through their dysphoria, But to make them lifelong patients, oh no, excuse me, lifelong customers. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Now listen, if a bitch turns 18 and she wants to do X, Y, and Z with her body and make herself a lifelong patient, that is on her, him, they, whatever you want to call it. Okay? But I think it's a very different story when you have impressionable children whose brain isn't even fully developed. When they are making these lifelong decisions, I think we have to just take a step back and breathe and think about the decisions we're making. I mean, my fucking God. Um, a kid can't even get a fucking pack of Marlboro Lights. Uh, you know what I mean? But you wanna snip snip. I mean, come on, let's be honest. Let's put things into context here. The cigarette might help you to manage your anxiety more than the snip snip, if we're being honest. Okay? I mean, come on. So that's um that's my general opinion on the trans issue for adults and for children in terms of the transitioning aspect of that experience. Hopefully that makes sense. Life is good here. I'm ready for spring and some warmer weather. So glad I got to catch you live. I'm happy to hear you. I'm happy to hear from you. I'm ready for warm weather too. Um, oh my God, we had a snowstorm here. Okay, can we talk about how great global warming is? I just want to say I stand global warming because it has been so warm this winter in Ohio. Okay, now y'all know that Ohio is very affordable to live in. Okay, the economy is very strong in Ohio. The worst thing about Ohio is the fucking weather. But the weather has been so nice this winter. We just got our first like full on snowstorm. First full on snowstorm this winter. And it's almost spring. So shout out to global warming. Keep warming up, baby. Um Trans Muffin says, I like hearing others' opinions and I 100% agree. Things like surgery should not be a thing, and most trans people agree on that. But people act like we don't. Well, I'll give you a little bit of pushback on that. I'll give you a little bit of pushback. Um, I'm not going to assume what most trans people believe in because I don't know what they believe in. But what I can tell you for a fact is that operations are happening on children. Um, Hormone therapy is happening at high rates. So whether whether trans people agree on that or not is superfluous. Doesn't matter. The fact is that these surgeries and hormones are happening at very high rates. And there was a bombshell report that showed how much money these private hospitals were making off of these types of treatments. It's scary stuff. Scary stuff. Um, as a Texan, I hate global. Oh my god. Oh my god. I know. You down in Texas, honey? Listen, global warming fucking y'all up down there. Sorry about that. You can move to Ohio though. Yeah, global warming's fucking y'all up down there. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Um, but yeah, listen. I don't think that, for me at least, um, For me at least, I'm not trying to evaluate what trans people think. You know, I'm evaluating what's happening, like what's factually happening, and the fact that so many children are, and I use the word so many, that's relative, but the fact that a lot of children are getting these surgeries and being put on hormones at early ages, um, around the age 13, 14, breasts are being lopped off. And then you see the big rise in detransitioners. And that's a very complicated, it's just, I don't know. I feel terrible for trans people because these are vulnerable members of our society who need our support. And I feel as though people are offering, people are taking advantage of them financially under the guise of trying to help. And they know what they're doing. And of course, and the average trans person is desperate to feel better. They're fucking desperate to feel better. Okay? And so desperate people, generally speaking, not trans people, but desperate people, they tend to make poor decisions. They tend to not use their best judgment when it comes to decisions because they're living a life where they're just trying to make it to tomorrow. That, they're just trying to make it to tomorrow. Suicide rates are very high. You know, they're not thinking about 10 years from now. They're thinking, well, can I live tomorrow? And when you are in that state of mind, you don't make good long-term decisions. Now, how do you solve that? I don't know. It's a whole other conversation. Obviously, it's very complex, it's very nuanced. But I'm just saying that I feel like the trans community is in this position where they are a very frail, emotionally frail community that needs a lot of love and support. And I feel like the pharmaceutical industry, it, first off, the pharmaceutical industry is one of the most evil industries in the fucking world. Okay? Proven fact. One of the most evil industries in the world. Next to the industrial war complex industry, the people that sell fucking mass destruction weapons. I mean, two most evil industries. And then insurance. Yeah, the insurance company. Those bitches. So I feel like the pharmaceutical industry, they have this target, the trans community. And they look at the trans community and they see dollar signs. They see dollar signs. And because there is some moral virtue with supporting the trans community, it makes it easier for them to be so pernicious in the way they handle things. That's just my opinion anyway. Um, it snowed once during winter, barely. Do y'all get snow down there in Texas? I didn't know y'all got snow down there. To be honest, this is the first time I've heard snow in Texas. That's why I feel this should be taught. Same thing with the sex ed for young people's safety and understanding. Sex ed starting at what age? Well, first off, this is a loaded question because what is sex ed? What is sex ed? I think nowadays you've got to determine what the definition is. Does sex education include discussing polyamorous relationships? Does sex education include um what I want to say? Does sex education include kinks? Kink education. Do you know what I mean? Or are we talking about sex education in the traditional sense, of a biological sense? What happens? How does pregnancy work? What are your different forms of protection that you can use? Um, STDs. Like, what is sex education? So I think first you got to determine what the fuck is sex education. What's your definition? What's your school's definition? Because everyone's definition may be a little bit different, and that matters. Then you can talk about, well, at what age do we start talking about sex ed? And my gut, I haven't done a lot of research into this, by the way, so this is just all off the cuff. But my first thought is sex education should start when the hormones start fucking raging. And that's probably around the age of 13, right? I mean, I think about when I started to masturbate. When was that? That was pretty early. That was 13 at least, at the latest 13. Um, because I think that when a child starts experiencing sexual activity, you're too late. They need to be educated about this stuff, okay? Because it's very confusing. And I also think that sex education needs to include consent. That's very important. I think there are so many situations where children have been abused and they don't know what the fuck is going on. They don't know what the fuck is going on. They don't have the education about it. And it creates trauma, it creates misery, it creates confusion. The devil is alive. Okay? So, yeah, I think that whenever, and I'm not a biologist, but whenever the sexual activity begins is when sex education should have already begun with the kid. Should have already begun. Now, whatever age that is, I don't know what that age is. I don't know. Is it 12? Is it 13? Is it 14? Is it 15? Is it 16? Is it 12? I don't know. I don't know when I don't know about hormones like that. I don't know when your sex drive starts. But I know that I first masturbated when I was like, I think I want to say 12. I think 12. So I should have been taught about what was I doing at 12. You know what I mean? Um okay, Trans Muffin says near puberty because puberty and some parents don't even explain it. Yeah, true. Periods. I could imagine being a girl and bleeding from my vagina and not knowing what I would think. Now me, Cho being Cho, I would think I would call the police. I would call 911. Honestly, to God, I would think I was dying. I really would. If I saw blood come out of myself, I would think I was dying as a kid. 911, and at that time I know how to call 911. I would have called 911 and said, "I'm dying, Mom, I'm dying." Honestly, um, mm, I remember when having a mastectomy was a devastating decision and a traumatic thing done when there was no other option. I'm so sorry. It's terrible. So those are some of my opinions on that. And there's also this whole element of, well, should it be solely on the parents? Um, Is it solely the parents' responsibility to teach this stuff, or is it on the school systems? Honestly, I'm a big parents' rights advocate, but I do think it's on it. It is the public edu. If your fucking child's in public school, then they need to be taught sex ed. If you have a fucking problem with that, there's a thing called homeschooling. Okay, you should be an active parent involved in their education, and you should know what they're learning. And I do believe heavily in parents being involved. No, they're not teachers, but they should be aware about what is being taught to their kids. I do believe strongly in that. If they have problems with that, you take that up, pull your kid out. Now, also, I think that children should be able to move freely between whatever schools they want to move to. I believe in school choice, but that's a whole nother topic. That makes it complicated. These subjects are gross and messy, but needed. They are. Listen, they are. They are. Like I was telling people during my stream about estate planning, these are things you have to discuss because you have to discuss them eventually. You have to discuss them eventually because they're part of life. They come up in life. So if you don't discuss them now, you're going to discuss them later at a disadvantaged state because it's more stressful of a situation and you have not prepared yourself for that conversation. Whereas you can prepare yourself for the inevitable by discussing it beforehand when you're in a clear frame of mind. Um, so I don't know. That's how I feel about that. But yeah, those are my opinions on sex education, trans situations. Um, yeah. Hopefully that's yeah. Oh, it's terrible. Not you having to do your own research, honey. That's terrible. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's not fair. It's not fair that you have to like be self-taught. Now, I hope that through those experiences, I hope that you've been able to derive a little bit of strength and motivation that you are capable and that you are able to achieve. Um, I know, right? I mean, what a mess. Not the holes. Listen, the listen. They're not teaching. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. I need to take this ring up, guys. I have to end the stream soon because I am going to pull out every hair follicle if I do not take these clothes off soon. It's too fucking much. I haven't had clothes on this long in fucking forever. Um. Oh my god. I look fat in this shirt. Oh my god. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you being here so much. Um, Definitely subscribe to the channel, put your bell notifications on, all that jazz. I do stream here every Sunday, I mean, no, every Saturday, 11:30 p.m. Eastern. The channel's gonna be changing a little bit. I won't get into all the details. I'm gonna go to my Patreon and do a video about the channel changes soon. Um, but there may be an additional stream during the week. Um, you may not be able to attend because it's gonna be during the daytime. I'm thinking it's gonna be like Monday, um, It's gonna be like a Monday or Tuesday, during the daytime, like 1 o'clock. So you may not be able to make it to that stream, but that's gonna be a little bit different of a format than this stream. So this stream is like a free for all. Um, but yeah. Well, I mean, I would disagree. I mean, like I just told you, I masturbated at the age of 12. So I wasn't even 15 when I was like fiddling around with my anatomy. Um, but I do agree that teenagers have a lot of emotional baggage on their backs these days, and I think that I'm gonna say you guys. I'm speaking in stereotypes right now, and I feel confident saying this because I work with teenagers. Okay, so I've had my fair share of dealing in an interpersonal way with teenagers for the last 10 years. But I feel like teenagers are in their heads a lot, and they experience anxiety, or let's say, I'm not gonna say they experience anxiety more than others, 'cause I don't believe it to be true. I think that teenagers have a more difficult time managing their anxiety than other generations before them. And so I think that she's right. Um, you don't have to question everything. Staying busy with hobbies and mundane things, things that make you happy. Like, you don't have to have the answer to life's questions today. Do you know what I mean? It's too much of a heavy weight on your shoulders. And I think that with the rise of social media and, the rise of social media and all these expectations and all these unrealistic expectations, it creates an environment where teenagers are just suffering mentally. They're suffering mentally. Um, so, anyway, but I don't want to give you too much unsolicited advice. I'm here to answer questions, not to just give you a whole bunch of answers you didn't ask for. Um, but you're always welcome to come here, slide into my DMs on Instagram. We can always chat over there. Um, if you follow me on Twitter, beware because I'm a whole I'm a whole different person on Twitter. I like to fight on Twitter. I fight on Twitter. Um, you're funny. um, but yeah, I'm so happy you were here. I hope this is a fun place for you. And yeah, thanks everyone for being here. I'm gonna end the stream because I'm gonna go film that video for Patreon, um, so that's off my to-do list as well. Um, mm, thank you guys. I'll also put the timestamp for this video, for this live stream, up tomorrow. So it won't be up tonight because it's already 1 o'clock, but it will be up tomorrow sometime. So with that being said, I'll talk to you guys later.